You know, I normally don't agree with the Young Turks about anything. But one of the things I do agree with them is getting money out of politics. There's no reason in the world that a person should come into politics broke, not even get elected to office, and then get rich. Do you see what I'm saying? Guys, let's look into this story because this actually hits home here in Georgia. Stacey Abrams. Many of you guys remember she ran against Kemp for the governor of Georgia. She failed miserably in her attempt. Stacey Abrams has reached millionaire status before her second campaign. When Democrat Stacey Abrams first ran for Georgia governor in 2018, her lackluster personal finances and hefty bill from the IRS gave Republican fodder to question how she could manage the state budget. She was a broke Sharkeisha going in. One of the reasons she lost is because people was like, how the fuck can you handle the finances of the state when you yourself can't handle your finances, right? She struggled with her own debts. And she launched a second bid this year. She's running for governor again. And it's no longer an issue, oddly enough. After 4 years, somehow in 4 years, this woman who was broke her entire life, she's now worth $3.17 million, according to state disclosures filed in March. That's compared with a net worth of $109,000 when she first ran 4 years ago. And there's only one reason she was positive at all. We'll get to that. Her rapid ascent into millionaire status corresponds with her rise in national politics. Since her 2018 defeat to Brian Kemp, Abrams is becoming one of the leading voting rights activists. Interesting. Ain't that crazy how that works? Ain't that crazy how that works? All she had to do was advocate for some liberal policies, things like that, and George Soros is going to come pay her. She was considered a potential running mate to Joe Biden and is widely credited with organizing voters in Georgia to help him become the first Democrat to carry the state in presidential vote in 28 years. That's not a job. It's not an official job. How does that happen? Along the way, she earned herself $6 million, mostly driven by $5 million in payments for books and speeches. We all know how that shit plays out, right? Let me tell you, I live in Georgia. Ain't nobody ever, we hear about Trump rallies, we hear about shit like that. Ain't nobody going to no motherfucking, what's this bitch's name? Stacey Abrams speech. That's not happening here in Georgia. It's not happening here in Georgia. The wealth has exposed her to a different line of criticism from Republicans who hope to portray Abrams this year as an elitist out of touch with average Georgians. Garrison Douglas, a spokesperson for the National Republican Party, accused Abrams of using her campaign as a platform for her own financial gain. That's exactly right. 100% that's right. Let's take a look. I want to show you guys something here. While only holding a net worth of $109,000 during her first campaign, she's now worth $3.17 million. But I want to show you guys something else. During her time as an activist, she reportedly earned $6 million, $5 million of which is for payments for books and speeches. Where's her bestseller? What bestseller did she sell? Abrams' campaign spokesperson said that Abrams gave 37 paid speeches, which included 12 standalone appearances in a fall tour. To where? In 2019, Abrams also co-written or reissued 6 books, with another reissue coming later this year. Abrams received over $700,000 during her more than 3 years spent executive director of the Southern Economic Advancement Project, an affiliate of the Roosevelt Institute. As you can see, Black Lives Matter, all this type of shit, it's all goofy. She reported no income from Fair Fight Action, though. The voting rights group she founded and formerly chaired. No income from that. Abraham has also reported a number of investments made in companies. I'm sure she has, right? Let me show you guys some other numbers that I saw here. Abrams, at the time, right, In 2018, incumbent Governor Brian Kemp ridiculed Abrams for owing $54,000 to the IRS. This is in 2018, in which Abrams explained that she had skipped her payments on self-employment taxes because her parents needed financial help. You can delay IRS payments, you can't delay cancer treatments. Abrams reportedly had $96,000 in student loan debt and $83,000 in credit card debt in 2018. She only had a positive net worth at the time because a publisher had paid a $150,000 advance on her first nonfiction book. I wonder how that happened. She paid off these debts as well as the IRS in 2019. During her first governor race, she had a retirement account consisting of less than $5,000, which has skyrocketed since that race to more than $725,000 in stocks and bonds. She also upgraded her house, opting for a $975,000 property, $1 million, outside of Atlanta, financed by a $760,000 mortgage, and bought her parents a $370,000 3,300 square foot house in suburban Atlanta in 2019. Though it is unclear how much Abrams is paying in taxes or how she is donating to charity, her assets also include $560,000 set aside in a tax account. In December, Abrams announced that she would once again be running for the governor of Georgia. I'm showing you this because this is one of the biggest problems, I believe, we face in America. How can politicians just entering the realm of politics become rich, filthy rich? This bitch was so broke in 2018 going into her gubernatorial race with Brian Kemp. How in the fuck could you go run a campaign, lose the campaign, and somehow now you're hundreds of times richer than you ever were? This was a broke bitch that didn't even pay her taxes. And now all of a sudden she's worth $3.7 million? Do the math. That's almost an average of $1 million a year since then. How's that possible? How is it possible that someone with less than $5,000 in a retirement account, less than $5,000, was able to somehow transition to $1 million per year at the least between that campaign run and now this one? And guess what? She's already raised more than $9.7 million for her campaign this time. Doesn't something sound a little fishy? Should. But that's Stacey Abrams for you. It's really not much different than the Black Lives Matter whores that stole all the money. Something sounds fishy. This welfare queen looking, goofy, broke motherfucker all of a sudden is rich. And all she did was run one campaign cycle that she lost. But she took on the task of helping with the election of 2020. Ain't that magnificent? Let that sink in. Broke in 2018. She helped with the election of 2020, which we all know how that went, especially in Georgia. Now she's rich beyond her possible dreams. Make that make sense. Guys, let me know in the comments section what you think about this. What do you think? Do you think she did it legit? Have you got the Stacey Abrams book? Have you seen a Stacey Abrams speech? Me either.